video is sponsored by Channel Fireball and brought to you by my lovely Patreons, baby!
Hello, spicy people of the internet. Spice8Rack here, aka Spilled Egg Whites, and did you watch to the end of my last video? If you didn't,
I would kindly ask that you do because I worked really hard on it.
But if you did, you would have found out that I'm doing a 24-hour charity live stream starting at 2 PM GMT on the 3rd of April, where I'm going to be reading aloud every freely available Magic the Gathering Story article from Khans of Tarkir onwards. I'm raising money for Help Bristol's Homeless, a charity here in the southwest of the UK which builds homes out of shipping containers that homeless people can live in for anything from a couple of weeks to a few years before they find a permanent place to live. I visited the wee community that's built around these micro homes, met with the organisers, seen one of the homes firsthand, and met with one of the residents of the site. It's a really good charity, and because everybody who works on the site is a volunteer, you can be sure that all the money raised is going to improving, maintaining, and expanding the facilities and services available to residents on the site. So come join me at 2 PM GMT on April 3rd over at twitch.tv/Spice8Rack for 24 hours of celebrating Magic's previous era of storytelling with guests, japes, and snarky digs at Nic Kelman's expense. Why did you burn a bridge with one of the most beloved sci-fi authors of our time, Mr. Kelman? What was the thought process behind that one, my guy? So come hang out and I'll see you there. Hell, most of the world will still be in quarantine by then, so you don't even have an excuse to miss it. Oh, I do laugh, but a considerable number of my friends and family are immunocompromised, and the limit of my government's response to everybody being out of work at the moment, at least 5 million of which will be left with just £94 a week sick pay, is to politely ask private landlords to be compassionate in a non-legally binding way. You know, landlords, those notoriously generous folks who graciously take 2/3 of your income each month so that you have the privilege of staying in one of their many houses and then evict you at the drop of the hat. Hey, did you know that the most common reason why rough sleepers in the UK left their last settled residence is because they were evicted? That only 20% of private landlords will ever let their properties to homeless people, and that the proportion of households losing their residency due to the termination of private sector tenancies rose from the second smallest to the single largest reason for homelessness in the UK since 2008. Thank goodness that all of these kind and generous rent seekers took advantage of 2008's catastrophic housing market crash to buy up and hoard all of the property so that they could profiteer off of a financial disaster that ruined countless people's lives. I'm sure that these kinds of people will follow the government's, again, non-legally binding request to not evict anyone immediately after this pandemic is over.
Landlords are parasites, follow me on Twitch.